welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I will be making my first mask. I was gonna do this as an entry for the Ellimacs giveaway, but you know, mom life happened and I didn't have enough time for the entry, but since I bought all the stuff, I was like, might as well do it anyways. So for today's video, I will be recreating Ellimacs Venom mask. I just love stuff like this. I've always been really artsy, creative, DIY. Art was always my favorite class. I come from a really artistic family. We all like to draw, and siblings really like to draw. They're really good at it. Anyways, this is going to be a project. It's going to take a couple days just because of the drying process. Alrighty, so this is what you're gonna need. You're gonna need some masking tape, normal hoppy glue, liquid latex, aluminum foil, some baking flour newspaper, some Mod Podge. I'm using acrylic paint and my flash palettes to color the mask. You are also going to need some polymorph plastic. I'm going to show you guys how to use this to create the teeth. It's super awesome. I love using this. You will also be needing poster board. This was like 33 cents at the store, a foam head, and a cheap little Halloween mask so that you get the basics of a face. Alright, let's get this video started. Alrighty, so we're gonna start off by making a circle. Find the center of that circle and tracing the neck of your foam head onto that center. This is gonna be the color for your mask. I am definitely not the best at explaining things, so just follow what I'm doing. I do want to apologize that this video will be in a faster speed simply because I literally had 6.5 hours of footage because this took me about 10 hours to make. I don't even want to mention how long it's been taking me to edit this video. It's already a long video, and on top of that I have a lot going on at home, just personal life, so my apologies for not being consistent lately. Okay, so this is what you should have so far. This is going to be the base of the mask. Okay, so on to the next step. You're going to start shredding up some newspapers. You guys have done paper mache before, or at least I hope you have. Super easy to do. Just rip up some old newspaper, and then on a separate little container, you're going to fill it up with equal parts of glue and water. I didn't measure it, so yeah. You are then going to take all of our little newspaper shreds and dip them into the glue and water and just apply it everywhere. You're going to want to do 2 layers.
Later that same evening.
Just finished like the first layer of the paper mache. I made my whole foundation of the mask. This is actually going pretty well. I think I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be able to pull this off. Fingers crossed. It's gonna be so cool if I do. Alright, so let's go check and see if the mask has dried so I can start my second layer. So for the most part, okay, it's really loud out here. For the most part it's dry. I think I'm going to start on my second layer. The neck part, I told y'all it's windy as fuck. I think we're good to go on the second layer.
A few moments later.
The reason we're adding a second layer is because we want to make sure this is super sturdy and durable. This is going to be worn as a mask, so we want to make sure it's not like doesn't break on you. I switched out the newspaper for a trash bag because it was just sticking everywhere. We don't need that. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to make the teeth. You're going to need some ice water and some super hot boiling water. I just have it in this little disposable cup from Dickies plastic fork. And of course, some polymorph plastic, the shape that we are going to be going for. And be careful because they are sharp. This plastic is super strong. They're just like little white balls. When you put them into hot water, they turn clear. And then you can mold it to whatever shape and size you would like. Once you put it into cold water or it cools down, the plastic will harden. Do whatever you want and it will not break until you put it in hot water. It's super cool. You can reuse it. Be careful, it's super hot. So I'm just gonna take about this much. This is going to make 2 teeth. And I am going to roll it into a little ball and then start rolling it out like this. Like so. And then I'm going to put it into the water just for a little bit. See how it starts getting white? I want it a little bit harder. I'm going to take some scissors, cut it diagonal like this. Okay, this is what I have right now. I'm just gonna put it into the hot water again so I can start shaping the tooth. Okay, so I'm really liking this shape right here. I'm just gonna smoothen this side with some hot water, and now I'm going to place it in the cold water. So as you can see here, the tooth is already white, so it's hardened and it's good to go. I'm going to make about 40 teeth. I'm not sure how many I'm going to need, but I'm just doing different shapes and sizes. So I am going to start constructing like the jaw. Start shaping your top and bottom jaw with the aluminum foil. You're then going to hot glue it into place and going back with some tape. I would use a different tape because this masking tape was not sticking and I was getting so irritated. Don't forget to paper mache once you're done. You're also going to want to make some flat pieces so you can make your mask head larger. You can also use a hair dryer to speed up the drying process, and it came out very helpful for me. Okay, so I forgot to add this in the beginning, but you are going to need a little plastic cup. You're going to cut it like this. This cup is going to be covering the nose and mouth part so that you can breathe. This is going to be the anchor of the tongue, so make sure it's very secure. As you can see, I'm adding lots of tape. Next, you're going to shape your tongue using, you guessed it, aluminum foil. Play around with it, customize the tongue however you would like. We are going to be making liquid latex paste, which is just liquid latex, and then you gradually add some flour. Make sure it's well incorporated. I struggled with this a lot in the beginning. Mine had a lot of bumps and it was kind of difficult for me to smooth out, but you kind of want it at this consistency. You don't want to add too much flour because then it'll ruin your mixture and you're gonna have to start all over again. I'm using a plastic fork and a little cheap brush. If you use a brush, it will get ruined, so don't use any nice brushes. I'm just gonna add it onto the mouth area. To smooth it out, make sure you have liquid latex on your brush or on your fingers so that it doesn't stick, and that's how you're going to be able to shape it. Okay, so now start placing the teeth wherever you would like. I think this is what really brought the look together. The teeth are actually my favorite part. I absolutely love how they came out.
Much later.
Alright guys, so I've been working on this mask all day long and I think it's time for us to go to bed because my baby boy is not letting me work. I got pretty far, so I'm proud of the progress. I can show you guys what I have so far. Oh yeah. As for now, we're gonna go both to sleep. How my bubbles. Alright, good night, and we are signing off.
Day 2.
We are on day 2 of working on our mask. I wish I would have gotten the top finished already, but duty calls. Well, I'm gonna try to get the most done today so that I can paint it tomorrow so it can dry overnight. I was just super busy this weekend, so I didn't really have time to work on this, but I'm loving how it's turning out so far. I think I'm gonna put a little bit more liquid latex paste here. Hopefully I get everything done, and well, hopefully baby lets me get everything done on time. So we are going to do the same exact thing that we did on the bottom, just on top. Got a little more used to working with liquid latex paste. And don't worry about it being uneven. You can go back with some more paste and even out the gums. I'm just covering up some spots that I missed with the latex paste. It was a lot easier smoothing it out with my hands, but it was a lot messier. Things get really messy when you work with liquid latex. Right here, I'm molding the lips. This was actually the hardest part out of the whole thing. I think I struggled so much with this, and it took so much time. I at least spent probably like 2-3 hours working on the lips and the eyes. I think the eyes were a lot more challenging too. Alright, so I am gonna let you guys know before this video ends, I did fuck this up. I messed up the eyes, just because the jaw, the way I positioned it, I didn't angle it a way where I can be able to cut it just like Ellie and Mac did, and I I was just struggling so much with the eyes. I just ended up, you know what, I'm not gonna use this as a mask. I mean, I can, but it's just, I'm gonna have to cut it in a very awkward spot, and it's not gonna look good. It's just gonna take away from what it looks like. So if you guys recreate this look, go and check out Ellie and Mac's video so you guys can actually see how to do it correctly. This was really freaking hard. I give them props, and anyone who creates masks, I give you props. This was really challenging for me, but it was so much fun. I definitely want to do this again, and yeah, that part was freaking hard. This was so hard to mold, and then by that time my paste, it wasn't coming out smooth. I don't know why, whatever. So I'm sealing everything with some just hobby glue, and then I let it to dry for the next day.
The next day.
Ooh, on to the fun part. I had so much fun doing this part. So I took out all the teeth and I placed them on tape. You're gonna want to know where each tooth goes because we're gonna hot glue them in just a sec. And each of those little holes are customly made for that tooth. So you have to make sure you are placing the right tooth in the right hole. I had a blast painting. I absolutely love painting. I used my flash palette and I went in with this first shade. This was the basic shade. I just used this on the whole gum area. And then I go back with some black eyeshadow, different tones, so I can add some dimension to the gums. It's not just a flat color, it looks more realistic. This is the basic color for the tongue, and then just like how I did with the gums, I'm going to go back with different tones to give the tongue more dimension as well. I also added some taste buds with the hot glue gun, and then I painted the back of the mouth black. I'm not sure if this was the correct thing to do, but I sealed everything with Mod Podge because I was working with grease paints and I didn't want it to be rubbing off. I also used the hot glue gun to add some veins around the mask, and I think this looked so cool. Using our hobby glue, we're going to go over those veins we created. Once it dries, it'll look like it's under the skin. The color palette for Venom is very easy. I'm using some black acrylic paint and going in with big brushes and small brushes for the hard to reach corners and just painting the whole mask black. I am going to seal everything with Mod Podge as well once I'm done because I read online that Mod Podge seals acrylic paint. I don't know if it's the same case when you're working with a mask, but oh well. I think I'm just going to have this on display anyways. And then you're going to paint the eyes white. Make sure they look really, really white. I'm sure Venom doesn't go and get his teeth whitened at the dentist, so we're going to paint the teeth with a beige tone acrylic paint, and I also go in with yellow tones, brown tones, and white. I layer them so it adds dimension onto the teeth, and we're going to be hot gluing all the teeth back into the mouth. It literally starts to come together as soon as you start doing this part. Like, look how sick this looks. Oh my gosh. I wish I didn't mess this up so I can actually wear this. But, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Comment down below. Do you think I failed? Or do you think I actually pulled it off? I don't know. It looks so sick. Anyways, I love this. Yeah. Oh yeah, make sure that the Mod Podge that you're using is the glossy one. So once it dries, it looks like this. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm obsessed with how this came out. It came out so much better than what I thought. Besides not being able to see out of it, I think I did pretty good. Click the sub, like, and bell button if you want to see more videos. I know it was a long one, but it was hard to cram 6.5 hours of footage into a short video. I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces!